Hi everybody, it's Monday evening, so welcome back to another week of Meals on the Seesaw. We're starting the week this week with Mexican chicken or Southwest chicken. So I've got some plain white rice as a side dish, and then this is chicken thighs. This is the skin on bone in thighs rather than the fillets that we've been using a lot of lately. I just seasoned them and then seared them probably about 3 or 4 minutes on each side in a little bit of olive oil in my this kind of stock pot type of pan. Then I took the chicken out, and into the pan didn't add any more oil, but I added a chopped onion, let that cook for a couple of minutes, added some garlic to that and 2 chopped peppers, a red pepper and a green pepper. I let that cook together for about 5 minutes. Then I added a drained can of corn and a drained and rinsed can of black beans. And then added chili powder, cumin, smoked paprika and some cayenne to give it that spice. So you don't add any liquid to this, it's not kind of a casserole, you're just trying to get the vegetables all kind of seasoned as a base. Then you put the chicken back on the top, and I put them with the skin side down onto the vegetables. Pop them in a 200-degree oven for 10 minutes. Then I turned them over to the skin side up, I sprinkled over some grated cheddar cheese, and put them back in the oven for 15 minutes. So we've got the flavours of the Mexican flavouring, Southwest flavouring is in the vegetable mixture. And then the chicken's just got salt and pepper seasoning and then some cheese over the top. But it's obviously taken on a little bit of the flavours from the vegetables as it's cooked in the oven. So going to have this with a little bit of salsa and probably some sour cream on the side. Yeah, looking forward to this one on a Monday night. Hi everybody, so it's Tuesday evening and tonight we've got a real treat, not diet friendly but very yummy, and it is pork chop sandwiches. So you can see Caleb's in there. He has had some food this evening at his childminders, but he still wanted a pork chop sandwich. So here is mine, and I've just left it open to show you. So what I did with the bread, this was a bloomer loaf, sliced bloomer. So you want something a bit thicker for this. I've taken the slices, I've spread on some garlic butter, so just some butter which I softened and stirred through some garlic, and then I sprinkled over some Parmesan cheese, and then I put it under the grill for about 3 or 4 minutes. You need to watch it closely to make sure it doesn't catch, but only do the one side, so on the inside it's still nice and soft bread. And so on that side I've put the pork chop. On mine I've got some just sautéed onions. Caleb doesn't have onions with his, and then you just put the top layer on like that. So you've got the nice crunchy cheesy garlic bread on the outside, but nice soft bread on the inside to soak up the juices from the pork chop. And then we're having it with some of our little diced potatoes that we do in the active fryer, and I'm going to have some coleslaw with mine as well. But just an indulgent, there are some things, I don't eat a lot of bread. I would say most weeks, probably 90% of weeks across the year, I don't eat any bread at all. And when I do, there are certain things that I feel you just have to have white bread for. Bacon sandwiches, fish finger sandwiches, and then steak sandwiches, which this is a variation of. I just think white bread all the way for those things. So I don't really enjoy eating bread normally. I don't like sandwiches very much and things like that. I will have toast with breakfast if I'm having a cooked breakfast. But I'm just not a big bread eater. But there are a few things that I really love nice fresh bread with, and I'm afraid it is usually white bread for me in those situations. But because I have it so rarely, I don't worry too much about it. And sometimes you just need to indulge a little and have a meal that's a little bit indulgent. The pork chops, we've trimmed off all the fat, so they are just meat. The onions have just been sautéed in a tiny bit of olive oil, so not too bad. It's really the bread with the butter and cheese on it that's the issue. The potatoes cooked in the active fryer, so they're fine, and my coleslaw will be okay. So it just feels quite indulgent though for a Tuesday night. So we're off to enjoy our pork chop sandwiches. Hi everybody, so it's Wednesday evening. Tonight we've got a bowl of kind of tortellini soup. So it's just some onion, just sorted off in the pan a little bit, and then I added a can of chopped tomatoes, 2 pint jugs of stock. I used 1 vegetable and 1 chicken, and then seasoning wise, add a little bit of black pepper, some thyme, some basil, some oregano, and some smoked paprika. and then let that all just cook together for about 5 minutes and come up to a boil. Added in a pack of refrigerated cheese tortellini, let that cook for 3 minutes, and then I just added in a big handful of baby spinach, a can of cannellini beans, and about a half of a small tub, like a regular sized tub of low fat cream cheese, and stirred that through for about another 2 or 3 minutes until the cream cheese was all melted. And I've just got some Parmesan sprinkles over the top. And so looking forward to this. Took no more than 10-15 minutes start to finish to make this. So a really simple dish. If you keep those kind of fresh pastas in the refrigerator, you can always use one of those to make something like this and make it up really quick with whatever you've got on hand, really. So yep, looking forward to this one. Hi everybody, so it's Thursday evening, and today's one of those days where having the ingredients in for what you plan to make does also mean that you can pull other things together if you decide not to have what you were going to have. So tonight we were going to have slow cooked garlic chicken. This morning was a bit chaotic and I didn't have time to put the slow cooker on, and then I went to weigh in this evening when I got home. I've maintained, so stayed the same this week, which I'm okay with because I actually have eaten a lot of rubbish this week. So I've had far more treats than I normally do. We had the pork chop sandwiches, which I really loved and really glad I had them, but that's kind of certainly not on any healthy eating plan. And there's been a few things like that this week, so to stay the same, I was quite happy with that. So anyway, when I got home, I've just made some baked chicken thighs. Really fancied some comfort food, mashed potato, but made with low-fat milk, and I haven't had my milk allowance today. I only drink 1 or 2 cups of tea or coffee during the day, so I never use my whole milk allowance on that. So some mashed potatoes is going to be fine with some black pepper in, and I've also put a little sprinkle of cheese in them because, again, I'm allowed 2 portions of dairy a day, and I haven't had cheese with anything today. And then just some baked beans. So there isn't any veg on the plate. But there's also not a lot of extra calories on the plate. So I have taken the skin off of that chicken piece, and I will take the skin off this one before I eat it. The coating is just my favourite kind of everyday coating for this sort of thing. It's some smoked paprika, some garlic powder, onion powder, and black pepper. And I just keep some of that mixed up together in the cupboard to use for this sort of thing. So they were just put in a 200 degree fan oven. I did them for about 20 minutes with skin side down on the baking tray, and then turned them over and just let the skin crisp up a little bit on the top for about another 10 minutes, just while the potatoes were finishing. So quite a simple comfort food sort of supper, but it's just what I fancy, and sometimes you just have to go with what you fancy. Hi everybody, so it's Friday evening and we're back to our old standby of Brinner. We've all actually got the same tonight, so sometimes we have different sorts of eggs and things, but we've all got the same. So we've got bacon medallions, we've got the Aldi skinny sausages, we've got fried eggs, we've got some sliced potatoes cooked in the actor fryer with a little bit of seasonal, and then I've got some mushrooms with mine. So that is our Friday night Brinner. Hi everybody, so it's Saturday evening, and tonight we've got a honey sriracha chicken stir fry with noodles. This is just chicken pieces with peppers, celery, carrots, and some shredded up pak choy in there as well. The straight to wok noodles, and then the sauce is a sauce I make myself. Now it's got lots of ingredients in it, but basically it's a honey sriracha, so it's slightly spicy, slightly sweet. Now I will post this recipe on our Facebook page. Because there are lots of ingredients, and for me to run through it, it will make this video clip run on and on and on. So, and then you'll never be able to write it down fast enough. So I will post this one on our Facebook page just as a recipe for if you're interested in having a look. The Chinese sort of ingredients, you know, the Chinese sauces, to give them the depth of flavour that you get on an Asian style sauce. You do really have to have quite a lot of ingredients, but they're the sorts of things that keep in the pantry or the fridge for ages. So once you've bought them, you can use them for a number of different things. So I do highly recommend having a go at your own sauce. They're not cheaper. They are cheaper overall, but they're not cheaper to start with to buying the packaged sauces, but you can flavour it the way you like it for your family. So really looking forward to this one as our kind of fake away this week. Chinese style honey sriracha chicken with noodles. Hi everybody, so it's Sunday evening and we're having a steak dinner tonight. So Caleb and I have got rump steaks, Tony's got pork steak, I've got some mushroom and onion with mine, a baked potato with some cheese, some lettuce, tomato, cucumber and a tiny sprinkle of blue cheese on top of that, because I like blue cheese dressing when I have salad with steak, and I don't have any, so I'm just put some blue cheese on and I'll put a little bit of plain dressing on the top. And then I made these this afternoon. They're cheddar biscuits. So a biscuit, for those that don't know what that is, that's a bit like a scone. It's American, but not quite like a scone. They're not as formulated as scones, so they're really, really fluffy and break apart in the middle. They're made with flour, some seasoning, some buttermilk for the raising agent, along with baking powder in the mixture, and then cheese mixed in, and then just brushed with some melted butter when they come out of the oven. So not at all healthy, but I just fancied making some today, so I've made them. I'm having one on the side with my dinner. So that's our Sunday night dinner. Thank you for joining us for this week of meals, and we hope to see you back on the Seesaw soon.